this is not a good sign for either of these candidates that they have to run this ad.
I don't think being exonerated ever really gets you where you want to go.
Welcome to another episode of Campaign Experts React, where we break down 2020 election ads and political media, explain what the people behind them are trying to accomplish, and decide whether or not they did a good job. I'm Dan Pfeiffer, former communications director for Barack Obama. Joining me today is Alyssa Mastromonaco, Barack Obama's former deputy chief of staff and the co-host of the Crooked Media podcast Hysteria. Alyssa Mastromonaco, welcome back to Campaign Experts React, the YouTube show that will never die.
Pfeiffer, I am so excited to be back. I feel like I'm going to have a lot to say.
I imagine you are, because you and I agree on most things. Late 90s TV shows, food, opinions about people often.
Yes, very much so.
But one place where we have always disagreed is political ads. Uh-huh. The last time you were on the show, we had a vehement disagreement.
I hate it.
I
think it's terrible.
I knew you were going to hate it. I knew you were going to hate it.
It was fucking awful. There was nothing about it that could make it better. You tried to explain it to me like I didn't get it. I was like, no, I fucking get it. It's bad.
Well, I think the fact that Joe Biden won means that I was right because it was a Joe Biden ad.
I think it means that no one paid attention to that ad.
Well, look, we can't prove it, so let people make their own decisions.
Okay.
All right. Today we're going to be looking at ads from the Georgia Senate runoff. Control of the Senate comes down to these two runoff elections in Georgia. The races are between Democrats Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, who are running against Republican incumbents David Perdue and Kelly Leffler. If Democrats win these races, they take control of the Senate, and the Biden administration gets to pass the important bills the American people need. If they don't, Mitch McConnell has the opportunity to continue doing terrible and horrible things. The election is on January 5th. The races are incredibly close. We can win these races. If you want to get involved, you can find everything you need at votesaveamerica.com/Georgia. Go do it. First up is an ad from Democratic candidate Raphael Warnock.
We told them the smear ads were coming, and that's exactly what happened. You would think that Kelly Leffler might have something good to say about herself if she really wants to represent Georgia. Instead, she's trying to scare people by taking things I've said out of context from over 25 years of being a pastor. But I think Georgians will see her ads for what they are. Don't you? I'm Raphael Warnock, and we approve this message.
Okay, Alyssa, you are quite famously a cat person. Have you been on the cover of Cat Fancy or just in the magazine?
No, they didn't want me. Thanks for bringing it up.
Well, fuck those people at Cat Fancy. You should have been on the cover with your many cats. Yes.
I agree.
Yes. As a very famous cat lady, how do you feel about this dog ad?
I fucking love this ad. I love it. I love everything about it. It is appealing. It is warm. It's not negative. Do you know what I mean? He's just like defending himself, but mostly he just, like he doesn't say shit. He doesn't say poo. He just puts the little doggy bag in the garbage can. I love it.
Oh, good. See, this is an ad we agree on. I love this ad as well. And
Why do you love it?
I think you have to step back and look at the context of this ad, right? What is happening in this race? The Georgia race, there's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million spent on television advertising. But what is happening is a massive avalanche of negative ads targeted specifically at Raphael Warnock. The New York Times reported this week that the strategy for the Republicans is to kind of ignore Jon Ossoff because they view him as a non-threatening white guy and try to take Raphael Warnock, who is a pastor, but he is a black man, and they want to put him front and forward. They call him Radical Raphael Warnock.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock. My opponent, radical liberal Raphael Warnock. From radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
So what he does here is he has an ad where he knows they are trying to paint him as this angry black man who hates America. So he is doing something that he does in his normal life. It's just normal everyday activity. Take his dog for a walk. I'm watching this ad as I'm reading The Promised Land. It's a little-known book from a little-known author, Barack Obama.
Ugh, you're so extra.
But here's the point I'm trying to make, which is he talks about this a lot in the book about Republican efforts to take any black politician and make him an angry black politician and how you have to take that on. And this ad is responding to virulently negative attack ads, and he does it in a very clever, subtle way by, as you point out, dropping the dog shit into the trash can without calling the ads dog shit. Very good. It's a great ad. The next ad we're going to watch is from the progressive group Midas Touch.
'Twas the night before Christmas, as Georgia turns blue. Most Georgians were suffering, apart from these two. That is, looting Leffler and Chicken Perdue. Their stockings were stuffed from the stocks that they sold when they heard COVID was coming before we were told. They sold shares in casinos, airlines, TJ Maxx, and invested in drugs and in medical masks. They bought stocks that would rise, sold stocks that would fall. It could be their hearts were 2 sizes too small. They played down the virus, said we'd all be fine, while Leffler bought a jet on the taxpayer's dime. And don't get me started on Chicken Perdue. How chicken is he? A debate he won't do. So come one, come all, let's vote by the 5th and make Warnock and Ossoff your 2 Senate picks. MeidasTouch is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
This is the ad I specifically picked because I thought it would get an amazing reaction from you. So what do you think?
Okay. So, for me, this really falls into like the Lincoln Project category. It's just like, who's it for? Like, it entertains me. I don't think any Republicans are going to watch this ad and be like, oh my goodness, could this be true? Are they Grinches? It reminds me a little bit. Do you remember years ago the Carly Fiorina ad with the sheep and the floating heads?
The demon sheep ad?
Yeah, that one.
The very famous demon sheep ad that I think ran on television before Elijah or Yale were born.
Yeah, pretty much that one.
Yes.
Kind of felt like that.
Okay, I was expecting you to say you thought this ad was fucking awful, but so I feel like we are circling around a zone of kind of sort of agreement.
Yeah, Christmas miracle.
Like, yes, this ad is not going to persuade it's not for your prototypical swing voter. What I like about this ad is too often we do virality for virality's sake. Like, this is an ad designed to get people talking, tweeting, sharing, etc. But what this one does is it does that in a way that actually communicates specific information that is useful, right? But now we know something more about Loeffler and Perdue and why they're terrible, and we may share that information either in conversations with voters in our life or on social media, whatever else. So I think that is interesting about it. In general, Republicans have a gazillion media outlets, trolly, racist Facebook pages, and others just pushing content out into the ecosystem, and Democrats do not have that. And so we want more people making more stuff and putting it out there, and some of it's going to be awesome, some of it's going to be terrible, and you kind of live with that batting percentage in order to have more stuff out there to sort of fight content with content. So in that sense, I kind of wanted to highlight Midas Touch and this ad for that reason.
Well, you know what else, though, too? Do you know how many times I have seen this ad on television here in upstate New York?
You saw this ad?
Yeah. The Grinch ad.
Oh, interesting.
And we have a very big television, and so we watched it. And I was like, this is wild. But, like, I enjoyed it. I watched it.
Are you watching it on
Yes.
cable?
It was on CNN Wolf Blitzer, if you want me to be specific.
Oh, and this ad was in the Situation Room?
It was in the Situation Room, okay? I was warming up for Erin Burnett. You know I love her.
Folks, I'm emotional. Yes, this is me being emotional. These are the last elections of this cycle. These are the last ads we're going to break down for 2020. And for the foreseeable future, and thank God for this, this is the last time I will have to ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Elijah's trying to make me say, he's typing it as I'm sitting here, make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is, and I started making fun of him mid-sentence, so he stopped, but I believe it was going to say, smash the subscribe button. I guess have pity on Elijah, who has a real poverty of ambition when it comes to Christmas wishes or something. But smash the subscribe button. I think we're going to agree on this next set of ads too from the Republican candidates, Kelly Leffler and David Perdue.
I'm David Perdue, and I approve this message.
Jon Ossoff believes if you repeat a lie enough, people might believe it. But Ossoff's stock trade attacks on David Perdue are totally false. David Perdue wasn't even at that Senate briefing. Perdue was cleared by the bipartisan Senate Ethics Committee, the SEC, and DOJ. Perdue was totally exonerated. Jon Ossoff, you just can't believe him.
don't believe the liberal lies. A bipartisan Senate committee of Democrats and Republicans cleared Kelly Leffler. She did nothing wrong. Kelly always puts Georgia first.
The Georgia senator donates $1 million to Phoebe Foundation.
Kelly Leffler is working to make sure hospitals have staff and PPE.
With a focus on getting business back up and running, using her platform to make sure no Georgian goes hungry.
Kelly Leffler, always there for Georgia.
I'm Kelly Leffler. I approve this message.
Do you have a reaction to these ads generally, and then we can get into each individual ad?
I don't think being exonerated ever really gets you where you want to go. Generally, I think that they're sad. It's like sad trombone for these two. They have to have ads that are like, we didn't cheat you, the people of Georgia. That's literally all they say. We didn't cheat you, even though like we know they did.
This is not a good sign for either of these candidates that they have to run this ad. To understand the strategy here is there is a long history of political science and public opinion research which shows that you have to respond to negative attacks. You ignore them at your own peril. You have to say that the other person is lying. Like if you're not like a MAGA hat wearing Perdue stan, but just a typical Republican, you hear that, you're like, I'm pretty skeptical of politicians. That seems pretty fucking gross. I don't like that person. But because you default to Republicanism, just hearing them say with some complete specious backup that, they were quote unquote exonerated, that like gives you that's permission structure to just do what you would do. And so I think the Leffler ad is a much more effective ad than the Perdue ad, which is just him standing up screaming, "I'm not a crook," in like Nixon fashion.
Also in the Ossoff ad, it's like, remember years ago, there was that woman who had like strokes or whatever when she heard Mary Hart's voice?
No.
You don't remember that?
Sure enough, when Mary Hart came on the screen, the seizure started. I think all of
Is Mary Hart the Entertainment Tonight person?
Okay. Stop acting like you don't know who Mary Hart is, okay? Just stop. It's fucking pathetic. Okay, Entertainment Tonight, don't be a dick. Anyway, her voice triggered this woman and gave her seizures, I think it was. But what they're doing, the like fast forwarding of him talking but without sound, and you just see everything going really fast. It's like, I would just turn that off. I don't care who I'm for. It's just painful to watch.
So you disapprove of this ad aesthetically, is what you're saying?
I mean, I don't think it's it's not effective for me. It might be effective for those permission structure seeking Republicans. But no, I give it 2 thumbs way down.
Alyssa Mastromonaco, thank you for joining us on Campaign Experts React. This is our final episode of 2020.
I'm the finale?
You are the finale, yes.
Whoa. The season finale, not the series finale.
We don't know. It's in the hands of the network executives, so we don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I hope I did good.
Everyone find out next year whether Alyssa saved Campaign Experts React from the axe. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And reminder, the Georgia run-up is on January 5th, 2021. Go to votesaveamerica.com/Georgia to find out how you can get involved and ensure that Democrats take the Senate and we rip the gavel from Mitch McConnell's ghouly little paws.
Be a peach.
Have a great holiday, everyone.